Ahí está ya.
Bájamela, esta no, por favor. Ponle el video, pa. ¿Ya se olvidó? Sí.
Ya te puedo
Okay.
escuchar.
Well, I'm Alain. I'm from RTMB Music Live.
Nice one, man.
Yeah, I don't know if you know, we are a Latin American site, so this interview goes
lovely.
for all Latin American fans that you have. So
Amazing. That's great. Somewhere we've always wanted to visit but never had the opportunity.
yeah. Well, are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, well, so here we go. I guess an important question right now. I think the band is in a great place right now, maybe their best. How are you feeling with that?
Yeah, for sure. This is definitely the strongest we've been as a unit. You know, it's the first album we've never had a lineup change, and yeah, man, it's a very exciting time for us. You know, we've never seen this kind of response from the fans to our new music. It's a very exciting time with a lot of opportunities presenting themselves behind the scenes.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, it's a really good place, very positive place for us to be. Considering all the shit that we've been through in the past, this is a definite turnaround. And yeah, man, it's good times.
I'm happy for that. Wait, es otra entrevista.
Okay.
No es la que editamos ahorita.
Okay, can you hold on just one quick moment?
No worries.
Yeah.
Sí.
Sorry for that, man.
Espérate. Ahí está. Ya te escucho.
Sorry for that, man.
That's okay. All good.
Well, we want to know a little bit about Fracture. I think Era marked a new age for the band, and the gap between that album and Fracture is incredibly huge. I hear more elements of experimentation, technique, and so much groove. What things have changed in the band since you finished these recordings?
So I'm glad that you noticed the groove. That's important. Yeah, man, like, to be honest, we've only ever, like, I don't know, you're only ever as good as your last album, you know? It's just the same as you're only ever as good as the last show that you ever play. And the focus for us has always been just to write a better album than we did previously. When we released Era, like you said, that's the album that changed everything for us, because we were away for so long and we came back. So yeah, moving on from Era, we knew we'd set the bar quite high for ourselves. Like each album is a sort of personal test to ourselves. We want to always push ourselves, and it's not necessarily to be the most technical or the fastest. It's about songwriting and composition and stuff like that. So yeah, man, like the past 2 years, we were just incredibly inspired by. We were incredibly inspired by the fans that we've been playing to and the shows we've played over the past 2 years, everyone's response to the music. And that's what fed the inspiration for Fracture, really. And like we said earlier, like we're just in a good place. We're feeling the love, man. We're just loving where we're at the moment. And this is an overall, like, quite a positive album for us in that sense, just moving forward, breaking away from any shit we dealt with in the past. Yeah, we just channeled it all into the music and couldn't be happier with how it's turned out.
Nice. And for Fracture, did you open to new influences this time to reach this new modern sound?
But to be honest, not really. No, it's just the kind of, like I said, like we're kind of in our own bubble when it comes to writing music, and it's more of a quest to. What we were more inspired by with this record was the shows that we played and the audiences that we played to. So I think in the back of our mind, we were maybe thinking more like just bigger songs for bigger shows and thinking more about, you know, what would just translate live, like what would translate well on a stage. But in terms of influences, nothing much has really changed for us. Like we all listen to very different music, and when it comes together, it's bleed from within, you know. I couldn't pinpoint any one thing that we listen to, but we just it's all about Pantera at the end of the day, you know.
Yeah. Well, man, I understand the artwork. This time was made again by your bassist, David. Did
Yep.
he made an interpretation of the songs with the art?
Pretty much, yeah. Like Davey, he like you said, this is his second album that he's done the artwork for. He expressed an interest in wanting to do it again, and obviously we wanted to have him do it. He's such an amazing talent. Um, so sorry.
No
So
problem.
yeah, he expressed an interest in wanting to do it again. Obviously, we were like, "Yep, you need to do the fucking artwork." Me and Kennedy kind of gave him a brief just about the overall theme of the album, and this was just his visual interpretation of it. You know, he's really out there as an artist, and he always creates something that's unique. And this is just the perfect visual representation of this. You know, the figure sort of suspended in a moment, evolving into something else, carrying the winds of what was before. But like, yeah, it was just a really bold statement for us. And when he delivered the artwork, we were like, it couldn't have been perfect for this.
Well, another thing, what do you think is the main difference between the old band lyrics and the newer ones? What's the mindset like? I know that the lyrics evolve like your music, but what's the mindset like?
Um, so you're just asking how the lyrics have evolved, basically. Is that what you're?
Yeah, I know that the theme of the lyrics changed a little bit since humanity to fracture. So what's the difference? Do you focus on other things now?
Um, I guess so. Like humanity was, well, that was we're a completely different band.
Yeah, yeah, much.
I can't even remember those days, to be honest. Somebody asked me the other day
Yeah.
about humanity and what my favorite song was, and I was like, I couldn't tell you what songs are on that album. I don't know anymore. Don't listen to it.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, Fracture is as we've got older, the kind of themes that you talk about are that just naturally kind of change. There's era was quite politically driven with a lot of politics involved. There's a little bit of that inspired the lyrics for Fracture, but more so, we find as we get older, it's a lot more honest. It's easier to you have a better vocabulary in the way that you can express your own emotions and feelings. So, yeah, this is definitely our most honest and sort of transparent, if that makes sense. You know, like this is very much a piece of us going down on the lyrics, and we've explored that before, but more so. This is where each release becomes more personal and it means more to us, and I think it's because we're able to convey those things lyrically. So, yeah, I think it's literally just experience and like life experience, just getting older and dealing. The more shit that you deal with, the better your lyrics get because you know you get angrier, but then you've got more words to be able to put it down.
Well, a few days ago, I had the chance to listen to Fracture. I like the album a lot. So I just want to pretend a little bit. So, which song of Fracture would you play to the Queen Elizabeth and why?
Such a mad question. What song would we play to Queen Elizabeth and why? Well,
Maybe the end of All We Know.
yeah, pretty much. Well, I don't support the monarchy in the UK, so yeah,
Yeah.
probably the end of all we know.
I suppose that.
Into nothing is about the sort of established powers and reminding them about who really holds
Yeah.
power in a society. So perhaps Into Nothing would be a fitting song for the Queen.
Nice, nice. Well, I suppose that in Europe, you're struggling with all this thing about coronavirus. With the quarantine, I know you have a lot of time to listen new music. So we want to know what are the bands you recommend to listen in the lockdown.
That's a really good question, actually. We did like a playlist recently. I'm actually just going to double check my Spotify here. I'll give you an answer. One of the bands that I've been listening to a lot recently is a band called Power Trip. You know these guys?
No, I don't know them.
Oh, they're a fucking great band. They've got like a really old school sound, like early Pantera, kind of almost
Yeah.
Slayer vibes on at times. But they're like a new band. They just came out, you know, like they're most recent album came out last year and stuff like that. So that's been quite fun.
Yeah.
I've been listening to a lot of Bleed From Within, the new album.
Yeah.
And yeah, apart from that, like, I've got a playlist that I made recently for the band, and it's got like the most recent, what's it called again? Just let me find this 2 seconds. Ali's 15. There we go. So I've got Norma Jean, their latest album.
Norma Jean, I like it.
A lot of. A band called Fantagram, the kind of electronic-y kind of vibe. They're really cool. Yeah, a band called Moontooth from America I've listened to quite a lot recently. A really quite progressive band, and they're fucking great, man. Really, really good.
I will listen to that.
Power Trip, Moontooth, and Fantagram, I guess. They're my 3.
Nice. Thanks for the recommendations. I will listen it. With all this theme, I seen band and labels reshelling releases. Was that an option for Bleed From Within?
No, it was never an option for us. We discussed with our label. We asked if the label wanted to push it back, but they said no. This is whatever you guys want to do. And we've had such an amazing response to our previous album, and we promised that we were going to release an album this year. And when we announced the Into Nothing video, and we announced May 29th as being the release date, and it just felt like the right thing to do, just kind of stick to that date and deliver it. Personally, I think it's very important. I think music plays a massive role in this because everyone's locked in the house, everyone's feeling isolated. I think music provides an escape for people. So I know it does for me personally. Like, I've been listening to a lot of music on my Spotify. Has just been getting so much shit that I listen to every single day. So it was important for us to put the album out when we said we did, to give back to the fans that have supported us. And then just in general, it's just some more new music for people to enjoy when they're locked in the house. We don't know how long we're not going to be able to play shows for, so it just felt kind of pointless. Delay it for a few months. In the UK, there's going to be no shows this year. So whether it was May or August or September, it didn't really make a difference to us. So we always wanted to put it out when we said we would.
Okay. I guess that with all this situation, you're spending more time with your family. But how do you handle touring and having a family? What do you do to not feel the distance that much? I think that when all this ends, I think maybe the feeling will change a little bit.
There might be like a radical change for you.
Well, I don't actually. I live. The rest of the guys live in Glasgow. I live just outside London.
Okay.
I moved down here a couple of years ago for work, but I don't live. I just see my family my family are from Glasgow, so I see them. I just live with my flatmate.
Okay.
But he's like family to me, of course.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, like, Davey's got a family. Some of the other guys as well have got long-term girlfriends and stuff. Touring's always difficult in that sense. I know I speak for them when it's important to have a routine on the road. So everyone has jobs they can do from their laptops, and they stick to the jobs. It makes you feel like you still have a purpose when you're on the road, and you don't go stir crazy when you're locked in the van. So yeah, I would stick into whatever kind of routine that you can find, and just trying to keep that open line of communication with family back home.
Yeah.
Like, I know Davey's got two dogs. He's got 2 little dogs that he loves. When he tours, it's really hard for him leaving his wife and the dogs.
Yeah.
But yeah, regular video calls and stuff like that. And yeah, I know what you mean, in the sense that after this lockdown period for like a year, we're going to have no shows for like over 12 months, which is the longest that we have ever gone without a show since 2007. It's going to be quite a big adjustment when we get back to it, but I can tell you right now that we're all very excited for that first tour, and I think we'll be all right. I think we'll be good. And by that point, anyone who lives with their significant other is going to be very keen to get the other person out of the house. So.
Okay, man. How do you think this whole lockdown situation will affect the promotions and sales? What are your expectations about it, about all these things with Fracture?
Um, Quite honestly, I couldn't care less. It's
Okay.
not about
Yeah.
the numbers. I think, like I said, we released a statement a couple of weeks ago, and we've had like a really successful pre-order campaign on our band store, so bleedfromwithin.com. You can get the album there, and it's been going really well. Um, so that's given us the support that we need financially, like for the band to continue to go on.
Okay.
In terms of how it sells and whether it gets in the charts, we've never been driven by that. Um, you know, if you like it, listen to it. If you don't, fucking who cares? And
Yes, you're right.
the album's going to be released everywhere digitally. You'll be able to get it in shops and stuff on May 29th. And if you want to pick it up, pick it up. If you
Yeah,
don't, I don't fucking care.
we're in the we're in the best moment to listen and to get music, really.
Mm.
Well, man, we want to know how it is to be a Scottish band. Do you think it's more difficult to reach out compared to the rest of UK or European countries? Bleed from within have experienced obstacles in relation to your place of birth?
Um, yes, in the sense that I think every UK band can relate to this. If you are not from London, then you are very much outside of the musical bubble. All the press, all the record labels, all the big dogs in the industry, they are in London. And if your
Mhm.
band does not do well there, and you're not well connected in London, then you're very much overlooked in the UK press, unless you've got connections to them.
Yeah,
I wouldn't say that we were. It took us a long time to gain a fan base in the UK, um, but yeah, I think it is true that the further you are away from London, then the harder it is to kind of break through. But if you stick at it, then the UK does have a great scene,
yeah,
and eventually people will get on your side as long as you just keep working at it. So yeah, and I feel every European country has their same thing. In France it will be Paris, in Germany it's Berlin. You need to be close to these kind of hubs in order to feel like you're really getting somewhere. Otherwise, it's a little bit harder for you, and it might take a bit longer.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, this question had a relation with that. In this line of business disappointments and struggle are part of the deal. Did you ever feel underrated or like you weren't good enough for this type of career? And what kept you pushing ahead? I know that Bliss from Within history is it's really mysterious with all the gap that you have your since era and the time before that. What kept you pushing ahead?
That's a good question. That's a good question.
Makes sense.
We, you are right. We have dealt with a lot of shit. We've been fucked over by record labels, managers, and lawyers. And at one point, we were left with tens of thousands of pounds to repay in debt. Um, and we didn't think that we were. It was a very hard moment for us. We didn't think that we were going to be able to make it through this. And the future of the band was uncertain, but we knew we always wanted to do it, but we just didn't know if it would function. So what kept us going, honestly, was the friendships that we had within the band. So our previous guitar player, Martin, he left, and Stephen joined. When Stephen joined, he injected a new lease of life, you would say, into the band. He's a big Bleed from Within fan. He's a bit younger than us. He was very inspired and just like, come on, guys, let's do this. And we were like, okay, fuck it, let's try this. And it was all for a love of music. This is all we know how to do. Really, like this has been. We've been in the band now 15 years. Me, Scott, and Gunzi.
Yeah,
I've been doing this since 2005, and it's something that you can't walk away from when you've been doing it that long, no matter how shit it gets. And now we're in the position we're in now. We're looking back at all that. It's like we're so glad that we stuck through it. We are now stronger as a unit. Our friendships are stronger than they ever have been. Um, and yeah, man, we did go through a lot of shit, but we came out the other side thanks to the music. and thanks to ourselves and our friendships. And one thing that I have to mention is fans, especially like South American, Latin American fans of ours. Like that kind of support came in online just throughout the entire time we were away. Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, whatever. It was just constantly people being like, "We still love your music. We're from here. We still love your music. We're from here." And you're just like, it was such an amazing thing to see, and knowing that you'd had that effect on people, and knowing that there were people that were relating to your music and what you were shouting about really did mean a lot, and it got us through it. So thanks to the fans. Without you guys, we'd be in a very different place right now.
Thanks. I think that Blizzard Within is an experienced band now. So what's the difference between playing on huge festivals stage and little venues? I know that in Glasgow you play in little venues. And what do you like of each?
Yeah, they're two very different experiences. The small shows are great because the energy's like right in your face. It's sweaty. It's intense.
Yeah.
That you really can't put a finger on. You can't really describe that feeling of a show that's like that. Do you know what I mean? But again, on the flip side, the bigger stages and the festivals, if you get that kind of reaction in the bigger rooms as well, then it's really it's like it's a drug that you can't get enough of. It's really, the adrenaline is on another level.
Yeah.
Both. Personally, I enjoy bigger shows, and this is the only reason why. I have more space for my drums.
Yeah. I understand.
Usually my drum kit is very big, and in small venues, sometimes I have a hard time sort of getting behind the drum kit.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I enjoy the bigger venues, but yeah, it's the same energy either time. We basically go out and we give it the smaller venues. We act like we're playing fucking a 10,000 capacity thing. We act like we're main stage at a festival. Like, you just go out and give it your all every time. Something that we didn't really used to do before, but especially in the last 2 years, because we came so close to, like, we were not sure about our future, but now we have it, and we have the support of amazing fans, and we're gaining more fans. Yeah, when we go out on stage, man, it's all or nothing. So
Yeah. Well, man, I know that you play drums since I lost you, right?
that is correct. Yes.
Yeah, and it's really, well, it's difficult to being in two big bands with all tours, with all of that is difficult.
To be honest, it's not really that bad. We when I first joined Stylosis, Bleed From Within were actually quite quiet. That's when we had our sort of downtime between albums.
Okay.
And now Josh plays in Architects, and Architects is the priority for Josh, and
Yeah.
Bleed From Within is the priority for me.
Okay.
And we just work together when it comes to touring. So I work very closely with the manager of Stylosis, and as soon as we Bleed From Within have a plan, I will email Adam and I will let him know, this is our schedule. If you want to do anything, then you need to work to this. So yeah, it's as long as we keep the communication open. I've never had a clash yet, which is very lucky.
Yeah.
And I enjoy being on tour. So if I go straight from one tour into another, then I don't care.
Okay. Organization. Well, dude, this is a special question for us, a really, really special question for us. This question goes for all of your Mexican fans. Not sure if you remember that back in 2010 you have planned the Mexican Empire Tour.
I do remember.
That was unfortunately canceled at the last minute. To this day, no one knows the reason, and it's kind of like an urban legend. It's like the time Blitzkrieg Within almost came to Mexico. So yeah. So if you remember, can you tell us why you didn't came to Mexico?
In all honesty, we were ready to. So we were in Glasgow, right? And we had organised travel to go to London
Yeah.
to fly to Mexico. Okay, so that was
Okay.
meant to be the plan.
Uh-huh.
Before we got on our travel, so bearing in mind that we were meant to be flying in like 12 hours, right? We still didn't have our plane tickets. There was no guarantee that the tickets were purchased by the promoter. There was
Okay.
no guarantee that when we arrived in Mexico, the shows were going to be on. We hadn't seen. There was so little information available to us, and the day before, like as we no word of a lie, we went to the train station in Glasgow. We had our cymbals, the snare, our guitars, and we went there. And just before we got on the train, we were like, "This ticket's going to cost us like £800 just to get to London." And I had the guy's number. I was on my emails and I was trying to phone him, and I was like, "Where are the plane tickets? Can we actually go to Mexico? Where's the proof?" And he was like, "Oh, I will have them soon." And I was like, "The flight is in like less than a day. Why did you not have the fucking plane tickets for
Okay.
6 people?" So honestly, it was just poor organization.
Uh-huh.
And I will take some of the responsibility for that as well, because I was very young at the time. That's 10 years ago. I was
Yeah.
20. I was managing the band. Maybe I wasn't asking the right questions quite early on.
Yeah.
But we were so fucking close to
Yeah.
coming.
Yeah.
Like literally, I don't think anyone really understands how close we were. That we'd all gone to the train station to get the train to go to the airport to make the flight, but we didn't have any. There was no proof, no evidence.
Yeah.
So that night we all had to go home, and we got so drunk because we were so depressed that we went to go to Mexico. Ever since that particular moment, it has been a goal of ours to try and play in South America. There's a whole bunch of places down there that we need to visit, man. Mexico is a priority. We know we have a lot of fans down there. We see all the comments and we talk to people regularly on social media and stuff. Big fans in Brazil and Argentina. It's a part of the world that all of South America we want to go, we want to visit, and we want to make it happen. And I'm sure at some point soon we will. Hopefully, in the next 2 years. That would be my plan.
Well,
Yeah, that's
hope
the
never
story. That's the
dies.
story of Mexico.
Yeah. Well, man. Finally, we have a traditional question here in RTMB Music. We want to know the bands beyond the music. So, if you could relate the music of Bleed From Within with any other work of art like literature, cinema, or paint, which will be and why?
Sorry, repeat the question again. You wanted to compare it to another kind of artwork?
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah.
If you could relate the music of Live From Within with any other work of art, like book, cinema, or paint, the concept of all around Live From Within, which will be and why?
Fucking hell.
Hard question.
That is a really. I've never been asked something like that. I don't know. I've got a copy of the vinyl here, so I'm looking at it. I'm trying to look at the album and get some inspiration. I reckon it's definitely more. It's visual. It's live. It's very raw kind of thing. Probably like probably film. I'd probably describe. Do you know the Scottish film Train Spotting? You guys know?
Oh yeah, I know that movie.
I'd relate it to that. There's a bunch of Scottish people who are
Okay.
just fucking absolutely crazy, dealing with a lot of shit, trying to take a chance at life. Choose life is the quote from Train Spotting. So, yeah, I'll relate Bleed From Within's music to Train Spotting.
Nice. Well, dude, that was all for us. I really appreciate the time that you bring us. I really
Man.
I really wish all kind of success to Bleed From Within, and we hope to see you here in Mexico one day.
Mate, I swear to God, it's going to happen. Like, it is top of our list of places to go, and we talk to our booking agent all the time. It's just about finding the right opportunity, and we'll be there. But yeah, thanks for your time as well, man. Really good questions there. Really enjoyed myself.
Nice, I'm glad. Well, dude, bueno, una frase se me fue sorry, I speak in Spanish when I'm confused.
That's okay.
Well, that's all, man. Really enjoyed the album. So bring a greeting for all your band partners. Uh, we are really happy for the success that you have that you have been. So that's all.
Amazing, man.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank
I really
you.
enjoyed myself. You guys take care.
We enjoy it too.
Thank you. Cheers.
Cheers.
See you later.
Me traen con la pinche despedida.
Sí.
30 minutos.